celebrating 75 years of service to education. Bal Bharti Public School.
Good morning, students. Today again we will learn how to prepare accounting equation. So before preparing any accounting equation, first of all you have to read the whole question, and then you will bifurcate or see how many types of assets and liabilities exist in the question, and depending upon the type of assets and liabilities you will mention in the accounting equation. So the accounting equation is assets is equal to capital plus liabilities. So in this example I have taken these many assets: cash, machinery, stock, debtors, and liabilities, creditors. So again we will see that how accounting equation is prepared. So first is started business with cash rupees 25,000, machinery rupees 75,000, goods rupees 20,000. So maybe if in your mobile or laptop rupee font is not there, in that case symbol of dash will be coming there, comma will be coming there. So that is symbol of rupee. So we have started business with cash, so that means business is receiving cash, so that's why cash it is 25,000, machinery 75,000, and goods, so that means it will result in increase of stock also. And we are knowing that amount with which a business is started, that is known as its capital. So total capital will be 25,000 plus 75,000 plus 20,000, that will be equal to 1,20,000, and that is a part of capital. Okay, so whenever any business started, write all the assets in their respective head, total it, and whatever total you are getting, write in the capital column. Then in this again we have taken 3 transactions. So we are having, from earlier transaction we are having cash 25,000, machinery 75,000, stock 20,000, and capital 1,20,000. Now second transaction is purchase goods for cash rupees 10,000. So whatever transactions are there, for every transaction you have to see that what it results in. Results in means it results in increase or decrease of assets or liabilities or capital. So if it is increasing you will add it, if it is decreasing you will deduct it. So second is purchase goods for cash. So whenever goods are purchased for cash, goods it is increasing and cash it is decreasing, because we are receiving the stock and we are paying cash. So increase in stock and decrease in cash. So that's why in the cash column minus 10,000, in the stock column plus 10,000. And after this transaction, now new equation is cash 15,000, machinery 75,000, stock 30,000, and capital 1,20,000. Then third transaction is purchase goods on credit from Mohit rupees 20,000. So earlier purchase was the cash purchase. Now this purchase it is a credit purchase. So it will also result in increase in goods or stock and increase in creditors, because it is a credit purchase, we are not paying in cash. So whenever goods are purchased and cash is not paid, it results in increase in creditor. That means Mohit will be creditor or lendar for us. Okay, so that's why in this transaction we will increase the stock by 20,000 and we will increasing the creditor by 20,000 also. So now new equation, cash 15,000, machinery 75,000, stock now it is 50,000 after purchasing one more lot of stock for 20,000, capital 1,20,000, and now we are having creditors of 20,000 also. Next is paid to creditors. So whenever creditors are paid, it results in decrease in cash as well as decrease in creditors. So Mohit, he is a creditor for us because we have made credit purchase from Mohit. So although he is a creditor for 20,000, but right now we are paying only 5,000. So since we are paying rupees 5,000, cash will decline by 5,000 and the amount of creditor will also decline by 5,000. Okay, so earlier creditor was 20,000, but now we have paid rupees 5,000. So now Mohit is a creditor for 15,000. So new equation, cash now 10,000, because earlier it was 15,000, we have paid 5,000 to Mohit. Now current cash position is 10,000, machinery 75,000, stock 50,000, capital 1,20,000, and now creditor has reduced from 20,000 to 15,000. Now again we will take few transactions for sales. So our new position of assets and liabilities are cash 10,000, machinery 75,000, stock 50,000, capital 1,20,000, and creditors 15,000. Now fifth one is sold goods for cash costing rupees 10,000 for rupees 15,000. So sale is there and the value of sale it is 15,000. Selling price is 15,000 and the goods that we have sold for rupees 15,000, the cost of that good is 10,000. So that means this transaction will result in increase in cash because we have sold for cash and the value of sales is 15,000. But that's why cash it will increase by 15,000. And the goods that we have sold, its value it is 10,000. So stock it will decline by 10,000. So whenever there is a sale, always calculate profit or loss by using the simple formula of selling price minus cost price. So here selling price is 15,000, cost price is 10,000. So overall profit of 5,000 business has earned. So whatever profit business has earned, it belongs to the owner. So that's why we will increase the capital by 5,000. Now after this transaction, the value of cash will be 25,000, machinery 75,000, stock 40,000. Now capital 1,25,000 and creditors 15,000. Now next we will take the example of credit sale. Sold goods on credit to Rohit 16,000. So value of sale it is 16,000, cost is 17,000. Now here the value of stock costing rupees 17,000, it is sold for rupees 16,000. So stock it will decline by 17,000. The value of stock costing rupees 17,000, we are selling it for rupees 16,000. But here the sale is not cash sales, it is a credit sale. So whenever there is a credit sale, debtors arises then there. So that means Rohit he is supposed to pay rupees 16,000 to the business. So that's why as a result of credit sale, debtors has also arisen. And again we will calculate profit or loss. So selling price is 16,000, cost price is 17,000. So it is coming as a negative one. So loss, we have incurred loss. So in case of profit it is added, in case of loss it will be deducted. So from capital we are deducting rupees 1000. So after this transaction, now cash 25,000, machinery 75,000, stock 23,000, debtors 16,000, capital 1,24,000, and liabilities in the form of credit is 15,000. Next is received from debtors rupees 15,000. So whenever cash is received from debtors, it will result in increase in cash and decrease in debtors. So there is a debtor for 16,000. So Rohit, out of 16,000, he has paid rupees 15,000. So that means since he has paid rupees 15,000, business has received rupees 15,000 in cash. So cash will increase by 15,000 and debtors will reduced by 15,000. So that means now Rohit is debtor for rupees 1,000 only, because out of 16,000 he has paid rupees 15,000. Now he is a debtor for rupees 1,000 only. So after this new equation, cash 40,000, machinery 75,000, stock 23,000, debtors 1,000, capital 1,24,000, and creditors 15,000. Now next part we will see what are the transactions which actually affect the capital, because we are adding and deducting few transactions. So what actually affect the capital? So again we will see any transaction which results in increase in capital, that will be added. Any transaction that will result in decrease in capital, that will be deducted. So we will see that what are the transactions that will result in increase and decrease. So these are the transactions that results in increase of capital, and this will be added to the capital. First is introduction of capital. Whenever capital is introduced in the form of any assets, so that we will add. Any profit or gain we will add, and any income. Any income is rent received, commission received. Profit or gain means profit on sale of fixed assets, or gain on, or profit on sale of goods, gain on sale of fixed assets. So introduction of capital, profit or gain, and income, these will be added. And sometimes we are confused that purchase of goods and assets, they are also expenditure, so we will deduct, but it's not like that. Don't deduct purchase of goods and assets, because we actually take the net of purchase or sale, and then loss or profit is added or deducted, because earlier also we have done selling price, cost price. So individually we are not deducting each and every purchase, and individually we are not adding each and every sale. We take the net. What is the selling price, what is the cost price. If profit is there, we will add. If loss is there, we will deduct. So that's why purchase of goods and assets don't deduct from the capital. And decrease any losses. Whenever goods are sold, losses are there. Expenses, rent paid, salary paid, commission paid, interest paid, wages paid, electricity bill paid, advertisement expenses, all are the expenses. And any drawings, whenever proprietor they withdrew goods or assets for personal use, that is known as drawing. So drawings is just a reverse of capital. Whenever owner introduces capital, it increases. Whenever owner he withdrew capital for personal use there, it decreases the capital. So drawing is simply a negative capital. So any form of drawings, it will be deducted. Okay. Then again we will see few more transactions, that is introduce further capital. So when further capital is introduced, it will result in increase in cash and increase in capital. Earlier part we have read what transaction result in increase of capital. So one part was introduction of capital. So it will result in increase in cash and increase in capital. So if nothing is there, what form capital has been introduced, we'll assume it in the form of cash. So after this, again new equation, cash 50,000, machinery 75,000, stock 23,000, debtors 1,000, capital now increased to 1,34,000 and creditors 15,000. Next is paid rent 10,000, salary 4,000. So this rent, payment of salary, it is all are the expenses. So expenses, it reduces cash and it reduces capital. So 10,000 plus 4,000, total 14,000 is the expenses. So 14,000 we will deduct from cash, and 14,000 we will deduct from the capital. Okay. Now what is the new equation after this? Cash 36,000, machinery no change, stock no change, debtors no change. Now capital, it has declined from 1,34,000 to 1,20,000 and creditors 15,000. And received interest 5,000, commission 1,000. So these are the income. So income, they increases cash and increases capital. So 5,000 plus 1,000, total income of 6,000. So by 6,000 cash is going to increase, and by 6,000 capital will also increase. So after this, the position of cash is 42,000, machinery 75,000, stock 23,000, debtors 1,000. Capital has increased from 1,20,000 to 1,26,000 and creditors 15,000. So now the current position of cash is 42,000, machinery 75,000, stock 23,000, debtors 1,000, and in the capital 1,26,000 and liabilities in the form of creditor 15,000. Now 9th received from debtors. So again whatever remaining amount was left, we are receiving from the debtors. So that will result in increase in cash and decline in debtors. Okay, so we have received from the debtors in the form of cash. So cash will increase, and earlier debtor, he was supposed to give rupees 1,000. Now that too he has paid. Now no more debtors are there. All amount we have received from our debtors or dendar. So after this, cash is now 43,000, machinery 75,000, stock 23,000, debtors is now nil, and capital 1,26,000, creditors 15,000. Then 10th one, last one, paid to creditors 10,000. So you have to keep in mind, in the liabilities the value of creditor is 15,000, but out of 15,000 we are settling creditor for by paying rupees, right now we are paying rupees 10,000 only. So if you will pay rupees 10,000, cash will decline by 10,000, and out of creditor of 15,000, our creditor will also decline by 10,000. Okay, so that's why after this the current position of cash is 33,000, machinery 75,000, stock 23,000, capital 1,26,000, and creditors, earlier it was 15,000, but we have paid to our creditors. So from 15,000 we have paid rupees 10,000. Now current creditor in the market for the business is for rupees 5,000. So this is a new position of assets, capital and liabilities. So assets now 33,000, machinery 75,000, stock 23,000, no debtors, it is nil, capital 1,26,000, and creditors now it is 5,000. So at the end of all the transaction, you will total all the assets and you will total capital plus liabilities. Both should be equal. So both the sides we are getting 1,31,000, 1,31,000. So that's mean assets are always equal to capital plus liabilities. Thank you.